You know how they say, pick your battles? Well, I picked mine over a damn mailbox. Not just any mailbox, a solid steel, concrete-reinforced, motion-triggered beast of a mailbox. Why? Because I got tired of watching my original one get destroyed over and over again by a bunch of wannabe sheriff deputies calling themselves the HOA Compliance Patrol. Let me explain. I live on a ranch outside of Hilltop Ridge, a fancy name for a not-so-fancy HOA-run suburb that popped up near my property line about 5 years ago. They built McMansions, planted some identical trees, and suddenly thought they were the gatekeepers of rural America. I'd been living on this land for 17 years. Long before the HOA rolled in with their matching flower beds and approved exterior color palettes. At first, things were fine. My property wasn't inside their boundaries. I waved to their dog-walking moms, ignored the lawn complaints, and minded my own damn business. But then came the mailbox war. First incident, the passive smash. It started subtle. One morning, I walked out to grab my mail and saw my old wooden mailbox leaning like it had survived a tornado. Bent post. Door hanging. A tire track nearby. I figured some teenager took the corner too fast. Fixed it. Reinforced the post. Moved on. But 2 weeks later? Same thing. Except this time the box was completely snapped off, and my mail was scattered across the ditch like confetti. Now I was irritated. I installed a trail cam facing the road. Just to catch whoever was messing around. A week later, boom. Mailbox destroyed again. But this time, I had video. On it, a shiny white HOA-branded golf cart rolls up. A man in a reflective vest and oversized aviators, let's call him Deputy Doug, climbs out with a hammer, looks around like he's Breaking Bad, and bashes my mailbox in broad daylight. He doesn't even try to hide it. Walks away like he's completed some righteous mission. The HOA's excuse. I marched the footage straight to the HOA office the next morning. Walked in, USB drive in hand, and calmly asked to speak to the president. There she was, Margie Trimble, early 60s, bob haircut, pearls at 9 a.m., and the personality of a spoiled lemon. Can I help you? I handed her the USB. Someone from your compliance patrol destroyed my mailbox. Third time. She plugged it in, watched the footage, and, I swear on my boots, smiled. Ah yes. That mailbox is non-compliant with the community's aesthetic standards. I blinked. Ma'am, I'm not even in your HOA. True, but your mailbox is visible from our main street. It disrupts the visual harmony of the neighborhood. Oh, visual harmony. That sacred suburban buzzword. I asked what she planned to do about it. She leaned back in her leather chair and said, Doug is one of our most dedicated volunteers. I'm sure he thought he was doing the right thing. Maybe you could install something less disruptive. I stood there, stunned. So let me get this straight, they smashed my property, admitted it, and then suggested I change my mailbox to suit their view? That's when I decided to go full ranch-style petty. The counter-strike, building the beast. If they wanted to play games, I'd play back, but my way. I called up my buddy Jace, a welder who used to do custom off-road bumpers. I said, I need a mailbox that can survive World War III. 2 weeks later, it was done. Welded from 1/4-inch AR 500 steel. Mounted on a 12-inch concrete pillar sunk 4 feet into the earth. Bolted with tamper-proof lugs. Covered in a powder-coated matte black finish with red LED underglow that activated at night. And here's the kicker, it had a GoPro mount, a pressure sensor, and a motion-activated audio chip that played. Back away from the mailbox. Installed it on a Saturday. By Sunday night, the HOA was in full meltdown. The clash with Deputy Doug. 3 days after installation, I caught Doug trying again. This time, he pulled up in his little golf cart, clearly shocked by the new Fortress mailbox. He stepped out, holding a hammer like a confused carpenter, and tapped the side. Clang. Sounded like he'd hit a tank. Then the speaker activated. Back. Away. From the mailbox. Doug jumped back so fast he fell on his own shoelaces. Then he tried to wrench the door open, probably to find a weakness. Bad idea. The pressure sensor triggered a blast of red dye from a paintball-style rig Jace installed inside. Boom, red cloud, right to the chest. He screamed and ran off, glowing like a tomato. Karen cop calls and real ones show up. Next morning, HOA sent me a letter, your mailbox is an act of aggression. Please remove it immediately. So I framed it. Hung it in my garage under the heading, First Blood, July 12th. That afternoon, Margie showed up with actual police. 2 deputies knocked. I greeted them, offered cold water, showed the footage, red paint explosion and all. They laughed. One said, that might be the most secure mailbox in the county. I asked if I had to take it down. Nope. You're outside HOA jurisdiction. It's your land. They left. Margie fumed. Final act, the cement revenge. You'd think that was the end. But no. A week later, I came home to find my mailbox tipped over. Someone had tried to pull it out with a tow strap. Tire marks everywhere. But joke's on them, it hadn't budged an inch. All they did was bend their bumper and knock out a security cam. So I decided to really seal the deal. I built a replica mailbox, identical in size, color, everything, but made of hollow plastic, filled with concrete and rebar, and placed it on the edge of their side street. Just barely touching HOA lines. Then I waited. 3 nights later, a different HOA patrol, some teenager this time, rolled up in an old Jeep. He backed up fast, tried to take the fake mailbox out for fun. Wham! He hit it at full speed and absolutely destroyed his bumper. I came out holding a flashlight, looked at the wreck, and said, "Didn't anyone teach you not to mess with federal property?" The aftermath. After that? Peace. No more smashed mailboxes. No more HOA patrols sneaking around. No more complaints about visual harmony. I still get the occasional glare from Margie at the farmer's market, and Doug avoids eye contact like I'm radioactive. The mailbox? Still standing. It's a legend now. The UPS guy brings his buddies by to take selfies with it. A local vlogger did a TikTok about the mailbox that fights back, 600K views. And every once in a while, I leave a little present inside it for Margie. A rolled up flyer that says, "Now accepting mail from HOA snitches, reinforced for their safety." Moral of the story? If someone tries to weaponize a golf cart and a clipboard to bully your property, build a mailbox so tough it punches back.